Hey guys, Ryan Rakowski here, and today I'm going to show you everything you can do to increase your performance and speed in After Effects. Now, there's a lot of different things that you can do, and I'm going to try to cover as many different things as I can do. So, without further ado, let's just get started. I have right here a project that I'm working on actually. This is going to be a future video, and I'll spoil it for you right now. I'm going to go through each and every effect in the blur and sharpen category in After Effects, and I'm going to tell you what each and every one does so you can use the best possible one for whatever scenario you have. But this video we're going to worry about what we can do to improve our After Effects performance. So I have with me a graphic that I designed earlier, and it takes me a little while for it to buffer between frames. Yeah, that took about 15 seconds to load, and that is unacceptable. We cannot be working in this kind of condition. So what can we do? Well, we can start by making sure that we have all the power that we can get into After Effects. I have a laptop right now, and the easiest way to do this is to just start by plugging in your laptop's charger, and you'll see a significant increase in both After Effects performance and speed. So, in my situation, I have an Asus charger and my battery is completely dead anyways, but just for the sake of this video, I have my processor power all the way boosted up to 100%, and I also have it so it's on high performance, so my computer is getting the most power that I can possibly get. The next thing you can do is install After Effects on an SSD. SSDs are unique drives that have faster read and write speeds compared to normal hard drives. You can also create folders in your SSD so that they contain your source footage or whatever you're working on to increase your speed. So in my documents, if you want to look at my funny names, you can laugh at those. But I have an SSD. This has around 111 gigabytes. In my SSD, I have my Adobe folder, which I have all my programs, and from there I can show you that I have my scratch folders, my caches, and my databases all lined up so it can read and write those really quickly. If you haven't dumped your cache folder or cleaned your scratch disk folders in a while, I would highly suggest doing that first out of anything in this video. In order to do that, you go to Edit, Preferences, and Media and Disk Cache. So what you can do is click Empty Disk Cache, and holy moly, it says, do you want to delete all 20 gigabytes of your disk cache? Yes, I want to do that. That's 20 gigabytes on my SSD. Yeah, I'm going to delete all that. Whew, now I feel a lot better. You can set how much disk cache gets eaten up on your hard drives. Mine's set to 20 for some reason. And then I'm going to also delete and clean up the database and cache. This one takes a little bit longer, but do it. It'll make your computer run faster. Yay! The next thing you can do is to check to make sure you have the right graphics card. One that has CUDA cores would be really nice. If you switch to the right graphics card, you'll notice that your computer will speed up dramatically. But another thing that you can do is to update any drivers that you may have for your graphics card. Me, I already have a couple updates. I have a GeForce Game Ready driver for Grand Theft Auto 5. I could update my drives, and I could maybe notice a little bit of change. Another thing you can do is change the fast preview quality to maybe fast draft, because wireframe might be kind of bad. And if you do that, you'll notice that your quality of your previews when you play them back are a little bit more crappier, but you have to play them back quicker. So if you go down to Fast Preview Preferences, you can choose how much the adaptive resolution limit is. You can click on GPU information. This will tell you how much texture memory is allowed. This will tell you if ray tracing is being affected by your GPU or CPU. And it also tells you if your video card supports OpenGL or if it has any CUDA. So check that out. You can also change the RAM preview options by changing the resolution there. So if I change it to quarter and I try rendering this out, wow, look how fast that renders. I was rendering something out earlier in full resolution earlier, and it took a long time, but this is way quicker. Another thing you can do is to eliminate any other programs that you may have installed on your computer. I know it might sound kind of simple, but if you have Adobe After Effects, Premiere, and Photoshop all opened up at the same time, you're browsing the internet and you have a ton of other programs open, such as, let's pretend you have 3ds Max open or Cinema 4D open. Yeah, those are all going to take up extra power, and your computer is not going to be able to run all those things and After Effects at the same time. So if you close those applications, you will see After Effects running a lot faster. So if you run into your task manager and go into processes, you can see that After Effects is the top running thing that I have running right now. Another thing you can do within Task Manager is to right click on After Effects and set the priority to above normal. What this does is it tells your computer that you want to prioritize After Effects to utilize your working memory better. You won't notice a huge change, but like I said earlier, if you do a lot of these things, you might notice a big difference. Another thing you can do for your computer is to just obtain more RAM. After Effects utilizes virtual memory, and if you increase the amount, you can see a huge performance boost. If you go into Preferences and then select Memory and Multiprocessing, this is another big thing that is kind of difficult to understand a little bit, but it can also help you out a lot. So in After Effects, multi-threading is the ability to use multiple processors. To increase the amount of RAM that After Effects can use, you can either decrease the amount of reserved RAM for applications, you can reduce cache size when system is low on memory. This will shorten RAM previews, but it'll make it go faster. And then lastly, you can decide how much RAM is allowed per CPU. So if I choose 3, let's try 4. 4 gigabytes of RAM will only work on my computer on 1 CPU. So After Effects will only use 1 CPU. But if I bring it down to 2, this means that 4 CPUs will be using 2 gigabytes of RAM, and my computer will be using 4 CPUs when After Effects is running. So when I use 1.5, my actual amount of CPUs that will be used is 6, and vice versa. It keeps going down in the amount that you choose. So lower number the better. The more CPUs that you have, the better. Again, this is called hyperthreading. I'm not an expert on it, but I'm going to leave a link in the video description on more information, which goes way more in depth than what I just described. Hyperthreading will save you a lot of time, and it will make your computer and After Effects run a lot faster. A couple of nitpicky things that you can do inside of After Effects. I have a composition here where I may not have a couple of assets that I'm using in the project currently. Well, let's pretend that you're done with a project and you have leftover assets and it's time to render. You can go to File, you can go to Dependencies, and you can click on Remove Unused Footage. And it says that 6 footage or folder items were removed. And let's pretend all those elements were 30 gigabytes large. So that would be 180 gigabytes. That would take up a lot of time for After Effects to run those 6 files. So I just made my computer a little bit faster because After Effects doesn't have to read those. Another thing that you can do is to just pre-render nested compositions. So this composition that I have right here, what we can do is just render it out. Another easy thing you can do is to just lower the resolution. This isn't the resolution of your After Effects project, but just your preview window. I just lowered it by a lot. However, it's sort of buffering a little bit faster. Another thing you can do is you can sort of disable effects. Now, take Trapcode Particular, for instance. I forget which one I have in. There it is. Now turn off Trapcode Particular. Now you'll notice that the computer will instantly load up the project, but just by turning off any effects that you're not looking at can increase the speed of your previews too. The next thing you do, like within Trapcode, is you can limit the number of particles that you have. So if you go to particles per second, change that 100 to say 50, there's half as much, but that's also half as much that you have to render out. Another thing that you can utilize is adjustment layers. Adjustment layers are a great way to add effects to multiple layers instead of adding the same effect to all those layers. So I can add my glow, actually stylize, glow, and all my particles are glowing. And this would be way better to do it this way, so now they're all glowing, than if I were to add the effect to each trapcode particular layer that I have. So utilize adjustment layers. It'll help speed you up. Another simple thing that you can do, and I have to go back to my first example to show you how this works, is to change the renderer to classic 3D. Now, depending on what effect you have turned on, it may turn on ray traced 3D. Ray traced 3D is the ability to increase extruded or beveled text, or just do a lot of different things that the normal renderer can't necessarily do. So if you turn off the ray tracing renderer and then you turn on classic 3D renderer, it may not look as good, but it'll help speed up your workflow a little bit. The next thing you can do is to possibly turn off any motion blur in your project. If you click on this little icon right here, it enables motion blur for all the layers. If you turn it off, then you don't see any motion blur. And if you just want to see motion blur in some things, you can have it turned on and then individually click motion blur on whatever layer. So eliminating motion blur can sort of increase your speed a little bit too. Another thing you can do is just sort of utilize certain effects within your After Effects effects and presets. So not all effects are created equal, and some take more time than others to render. To speed up render time, you can use certain effects over other effects. Another simple thing that you can do is to just update your After Effects. If you go to Help, Update, it'll open up Adobe Application Manager. It'll check for updates, and if you have any updates, you can update your After Effects version. I have Adobe After Effects CC 2014. I imagine CC 2015 will come out soon, and I will download that because I know it'll run faster on my computer than 2014 does. So yes, I will utilize newer versions of the programs if I can, because I know that'll increase speed as well. Let's jump into the render queue for a second. I'm going to add to render queue my bilateral smart blur. And if I click on best settings, it'll open up the render settings. What I can do is I can downgrade the quality to wireframe. Now wireframe is pretty bad compared to best, but let's say I was going to go half resolution, or maybe even a third. Yes, I'll notice that my file isn't as good as what it looked like when I was editing After Effects. But if you need to complete something really fast, you could render it with a lower resolution and get it done quicker. Sometimes in the industry of using After Effects and just the film and video industry, it's better to get a crappier version at a faster time than it is to necessarily get a better quality image at a slower time. So keep that in mind. Another thing you can do is to just defragment your computer. So what does disk defragmenting mean? Well, if you open up the disk defragmenter, you'll see that you have your multiple drives, and I'll actually open this up so you can read along with me. So what it means is that it rearranges your data on your disk and your drive so that your drives can run more efficiently. My computer automatically configures mine on a set schedule at 1 a.m. on Wednesday, and then my computer shuts down after that. So after I'm done working in After Effects Wednesday night, I just leave my computer on, it defragments it, and then I just go to bed while my computer just does everything I need for me. There's a lot of different ways that you can improve After Effects speed and performance. I covered a little bit, but there's a lot of other websites that'll go even more in depth than what I went through with you today. So I'll post a few of those links in the video description, and I really hope that you guys do take in mind what I've said and maybe even try these things out. Maybe you'll find out that through multi-threading that After Effects will run twice as fast for you. Fantastic. Try it out. If you know of any other ways to improve After Effects speed and performance, please post a comment in the comment section below so everybody else can see and I can see. I'm going to start getting in the habit of posting more videos regularly on YouTube. I've been really bad at it because I've been at college, but now I'm graduated from college. That is my girlfriend. And we are done. We don't have to worry about college anymore, so now I have a lot more time to worry about editing in After Effects and creating some videos for you guys. So I hope to make 2 videos at least a week for you guys, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. Tuesday will hopefully be sort of a video of randomness, and Thursday will be more of a tutorial or tip-based video. So, and check out the one I posted on Tuesday. It's an epic graduation GoPro video. I wore a GoPro on my chest, and it was pretty awesome because I didn't think I'd get that good of footage, and it turned out great. But anyways, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for taking the time to sit here and listen to me babble about how you can improve After Effects performance and speed, and see you later.